Welcome or welcome back to Solace. My name is Jine, Jine, or Jin, Jin, and today we're going to talk a little bit about commitment. Stay towards the end of the video to hear about any updates I plan on making towards this channel if you are interested. Thank you very much. But since we're talking about commitment today, I get to out myself a little bit. Commitment has been one of the larger issues in my own personal life, and I don't just say that in the sense of it being like the only thing I've had an issue with, or like it's only negative. It isn't. I'm able to commit to things, and I have the capacity to commit to things that I enjoy to the fulfillment, but to the to the fulfillment that I do engage with it in. But typically, what I've noticed, at least for me personally, if I don't find said subject or situation to be as engaging as I would prefer, it makes it a lot harder for me to commit. I say all that to say, when it comes to commitment, from my own personal perspective and the way that I have engaged in life, I've realized that you're not really going to commit unless you enjoy where you are. It's pretty basic and simple if you put it into like words like that, but the more conscious thought you give to it, the more you start to realize how much you kind of don't know how much that affects things. The reason I say this is because if you have chosen to commit to something that you don't personally enjoy, you'll find ways to cheat around it or to do things to bring yourself out of it, to whatever extent that may be. Whether it be you work a job you don't enjoy, so you find ways to hide or put yourself in a situation you don't have to be there. Like anything you can do to keep yourself out of being in a place you don't want to be, you're going to do. It's natural. And that like multiplies probably by 10 once we start to talk about committing to things, because commitment, holy shit. We live in a society, yes, insert. And because we do, the way that it's been ebbing and flowing for a while now, it's on a trajectory to be to the point where most people aren't committing to anything. Most they'll probably commit to is themselves, if that. And if they don't commit to themselves, what they'll do is commit to making themselves feel terrible. With that being said, we still have choice in this matter, right? You are still capable of choosing whether or not you want to commit to something or if you do not. Now, the actual determining factor in this is whether or not you actually want to. Now, I want you to understand, I'm not saying this from a privileged position of saying that you are able and capable of making any choice possible that doesn't result in you losing something in return. Yes, there are some situations that are going to require sacrifice for you to bring yourself out of them. However, what you need to understand is that if you do not do it for you and the betterment of the people around you, life will do it for you. And life doesn't do it as fucking smoothly as you can. It'll do whatever the fuck it wants, the way it wants to. And there's nothing you can really do about that. So when it comes to committing to things, what you need to first understand is, what is it you're committing to? A lot of people, when they put themselves in these situations, they do not read the fine print. Do you actually know what the fuck you're getting yourself into? Genuinely, do you actually? Do you really? Really? And that's really important, because you will find a way to convince yourself you know what you're putting yourself into if you don't. And that adds a whole nother layer onto things that you now need to fix before you can even get yourself out of that situation. So the first thing we need to do is read the fine print. If you're going to commit to something, make sure you know exactly what you're committing to. Two, once you know what you're committing to, how much do you enjoy what it is? And the reason I ask that is because as humans, we are creatures of habit. And if we are in the habit of disliking the thing that we do habitually, 9 times out of 10, we're going to find ways to avoid doing it or find ways to avoid engaging in it. Regardless, what you'll find in doing so is that you won't do the thing. So the idea of committing to it to begin with was redundant. It didn't yield you any results because it wasn't going to. It wasn't meant for you. When it comes to committing to things, we need to start to engage with the fact that not everything is for us. Not everything we want in the moment is for us forever. It's not. Some things that come to you are not meant to be for you forever. And this is for things and people. That's its own separate subject though, and once I start getting into talking about relations, whew, but we're gonna wait on that. For now, understand that you have the full control within you to choose what you commit to. And it is up to you whether or not you say yes or no to something. There are a lot of people who, at this point in time in their life, are saying to yes to things that they don't actually mean it. You don't. I'd say it's probably the majority of people. I have done it in the past couple of years. I've stopped recently, but it was a fucking problem. You need to start to learn how to say no. Now, I will also say yes is the door that will lead you to so many opportunities you couldn't possibly imagine. But no will take you out of places you never wanted to be in to begin with. So, use those two tools properly and make sure you're taking yourself to places you prefer to be, okay? Because while it may sometimes seem like we don't have a choice, I promise you we do. There's always a choice. There's always an alternative. There is always an option. You just have to be willing to see it. That aspect of everything kind of comes into how we choose to perceive the world. And I don't know if I should make that a separate, I'm going to make a separate video. But for now, what I will say is when you choose to perceive the world in a state of conscious commitment, what you'll find is the things that you're actually attracted to will become attracted to you as long as you genuinely apply yourself to said things. And the only way for the universe to really properly understand that you know what you're doing is by applying action. It needs to see results of you choosing to act on thought. Hope that makes sense. Now, when we've gotten past the first two stages and we understand that commitment is not only more than the large words, and it is more than, I guess, choice, what we can now get to is the third thing. Are you actually committed? Do you know what it means to commit? Can you commit? And I feel like this third one you could probably interchange between the first and this one, but for now, for the sake of this, I'm going to say this is probably going to be the last thing you need to focus on, because you need to learn how you commit to things. When it comes to commitment, how do you go about it? A lot of people, like, commitment generally has the same term and definition across everybody. Like, to commit is to consistently do something over and over again, expecting, or sometimes not even expecting a result. But for some people, commitment has a schedule. For some people's commitment has an intuitive inclination for the day. For some people, commitment is their relationship. For some people, it's their job, and the way they go about their relationship or their job are two completely separate things. So how is it that you choose to commit? How do you commit to the world? And do you enjoy the way that you commit to the world? Is it something that you find to be viable or effective? And if not, start to ask yourself the questions: what isn't effective in how I commit? What can I change? Write these things down. And once you write them down, ask yourself, are you willing to change these things? Are you willing to commit to changing how you commit? And if you've gotten past all three of these steps by now, you're just watching this for shits and giggles. Nothing else I could really tell you. Congratulations. Now, I will preface this by saying I am 21, so there's plenty of things I have to relearn in this lifetime. So, if there's any other form of commitment or another stage or step you should take in the process, let everyone know in the comments below. If not, I enjoy knowing everything I know wholeheartedly, so I'll take that. But that's basically all I had to really say about commitment for today. This is when I start getting into editing and future prospects or objectives for this channel. So if you've enjoyed what I said today, thank you again for watching. I love you very much. Share it with anyone you may feel needs to hear it, and subscribe if you enjoy what I say and how I sound, and possibly even how I look. Okay, now we're going to, because I've done this shit in the past couple of episodes now, but I really need to lock down on what specifically I mean when I say the things I do. Now, one, music. I plan on engaging in like self-studying sound design. That's going to start to be implemented into these videos as soon as I figure it out. More than likely it's not going to start until I have my PC, because while I'm starting to actually figure out a lot of things I can do with editing on my phone, I just personally don't find it comfortable because it's all so tight. I don't have, like, my hands are too big. My hands are too big. I don't know what the fuck to say. Two, visuals. Now, I don't really know if this even matters because most people kind of keep a consistent background. But as far as like how I want to make these, there are some times, like with the larger videos I plan on making eventually, where I'm going to want to like change the environment. Of course, that's not really going to be an issue. Like, nobody really gives a fuck. You're still going to be in the same place. But I just wonder to what degree that will have an effect on things. Just a little, excuse me, just a little bit of thought. Three, those big videos that I keep talking about. I'm probably not going to start them anytime soon, just because one, while one of them could possibly catapult this channel into a new stage. One, I've only been doing this for a month, so while rushing it doesn't sound like a bad, like we could probably get something going. I'm not gonna lie to you. The amount of time that it would take for the videos that I want to really make, I can't really do that with making videos every day on top, if that makes sense. So what I'm thinking about doing is, if I don't want to wait until I get my PC to go, eventually I'll probably do like, I'll probably schedule videos throughout the week, and then with doing that, I can have those videos made ahead of time so that I can make a larger video and have it already made. But that's just an idea there. And now I will say four. As far as the subject matter of this channel goes, like just the general, what is my objective? Because I know in my description, my channel description, it says let's heal the world. I have to change that to let's have fun. Real simple shit. Let's just have some fun. Now, I know that could be pretty fucking like, what do you mean by that? Listen, relax. I just don't want this to be locked down to the idea of self-help only, right? Eventually I do plan on starting to stream, and I promise you I'm not going to get on here to stream some bullshit. Although I don't understand what you personally may find to be bullshit, I know what I do. So when I do start, it's going to be I'm just using my intuition to say I can tell it's going to be a very nice time. So if you're interested in that, let me know, of course. I mean, if you let me know in these comments, I'll read it, of course, or in my DMs. But I just know when it comes to streaming, it's a different game than YouTube. Still going to be posting daily as I am now once I do start that, but that'll also probably be around the time when the content starts to shift a little bit. I do want to make sure I clarify that I'm always going to be I'm always going to be providing details like this, like any form of self-help. I'll use the word self-help. As long as people are feeling like what I'm saying is it has weight and I'm articulating what I mean to, which y'all are saying, so thank you for that. I'll continue to do it. But especially when I say I'm going to do things like remake some of the older videos, what I mean is I'm going to just update the quality, because, well, I'm sure eventually this is going to have its own vibe, I guess. You know, just chilling in the room, baby pictures on the wall, snake in the background. I'll probably just unlist those videos at that point. I'm not going to completely delete them, so I'll have them in a playlist and you can just watch them. I'm so fucking far ahead of myself. It's insane. But would you believe me if I said I already knew this would be more than what it is now? Just an idea. But that's basically all I really wanted to make sure I wrapped up for today's video. Thank you again for watching. I know I kind of feel like I've been repeating topics. I'm going to, like, I have a list of things I want to talk about, but I've just been avoiding some of the bigger ones because I want to make those on the projects. But for now, I'm going to make sure that these are a little bit more diverse as well, because yeah, I know I've been basically telling y'all to stop avoiding yourself for the past month now, but it is what it is. Yeah, I would say that's about it. Thank you very much.